Let's talk flock. Hey there, welcome back to my channel, String Things by Mel. My name is Melissa. I'm a stay-at-home mom living in Vancouver, Canada, and on my channel I chat and share everything about my knitting hobby. Today I'm going to share my experience at Flock Fiber Festival this past weekend. It is a big, well, I can say big now, fiber festival held in Seattle, and this year was in downtown Seattle. Last year was the first year it was held. The organizer is Jess from Shop the Mercery, and this year, wow, like last year was good, considering it was her first large event, but this one, wow, she really knocked it out of the park, especially with her venue choice for this one. It was over 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday being a workshop day, Saturday, workshop and marketplace, and then Sunday, again, workshop and marketplace. By workshop, I mean classes that you could have signed up for. So the venue, let's talk about the venue. So downtown Seattle at the Convention Center in the Summit Building, not too far from where Pike Place Market is. I went with my friend Sarah, Noelle Knits, and we decided to take advantage of the hotel discount and stay at the Hyatt, which was literally just steps from the convention center. We could actually see it from our hotel window. Now, the building is relatively new, but it's definitely made for a high capacity of people. You go in and it's huge. It's a convention center. Crazy tall ceilings, wide open spaces, lots of bathrooms, accessibility. Even at the rooftop rendezvous, which was on the evening on Saturday after the marketplace, I saw people with their mobility aids up there. So I don't think there were any accessibility issues that I could tell. There was no crowding issues. It really was a great venue. Um, Part of me wonders, like, I wonder how much that place cost and if they were actually able to cover all the costs for that venue, but I really liked it. I would be happy if it was held there again. And yeah, for me, coming from Vancouver as well, it takes about 2.5 hour drive plus any sort of wait at the border. There was a little bit of a wait for us. We decided to leave later in the day and not be there for opening of the marketplace on Saturday. So we got there at around lunchtime. We had about, I don't know, maybe 30-ish or so minutes, maybe a bit longer at the border. Didn't seem very long, but when you're having fun, time flies. So we got there on a Saturday, and this is where I want to get into kind of my first tips for going to a large festival, multi-day festival. So some things to keep in mind for before the event when they release tickets. I highly recommend purchasing a weekend pass to the marketplace. Maybe you're not sure if you are going to be in the area for both days, but it's not a huge, additional cost for the weekend pass on top of just a single day pass. So I've always bought a weekend pass for every festival I have attended. So that's all the Knit Cities, all both Flock Fibers now. Just on the off chance, if something doesn't go right the first day, you've got the second day. So my next tip is also allow yourself a lot of time for these events, especially with the number of vendors there were this year. There were, I believe, 100 vendors. That's a lot of booths to go through. So you may not be able to see all of them on the first day. And, I'm really glad that I had the weekend pass because I made 0 purchases on Saturday. I'm not lying, guys. I made no purchases on Saturday. So weekend pass. And if there is a pre-order available for merch, take advantage of that because when you get to the event, then you don't have to worry about lining up and, hoping, waiting to see if you are going to get the merch that you want. Pre-order it. If it works out, something happens and you end up not being able to go to the event, I'm sure the organizers are more than happy to work out shipping it to you as well. This year, there were classes at Flock. Last year, for the first year running, there were no classes. It was just a 2-day marketplace event. But this year, they had a lot of classes. And my next tip is when classes are released, the schedule's released, take a look and browse through all of the options prior to registration date. Don't wait for registration date to see what's going to be available, because by the time you read through all of them, many of them will be sold out. Classes fill up very quickly, especially, this year they had Sari Nordlund there. I saw her, by the way. Did not stop to just say hi to her. I was starstruck. I remember seeing her, multiple times, but the first time we're walking and Sarah's next to me. Sarah, that's Sari Nordlund. And I was like, look. And we're going down the escalator. And she's like, I am looking. I'm trying not to stare directly at her. I am looking. But yeah, that was really cool to see her. She's even more gorgeous in person. So yeah, I mentioned that we did hotel discounts. So yeah, look those up if you're looking to save costs on accommodations. And then budget. So money. Not everyone likes to talk about money. It's not necessarily trying to say like limit yourself, but if this is your first festival and you haven't been surrounded by all the hand-dyed yarn, and the cost of hand-dyed yarn is generally higher than commercial yarns, you may want to at least familiarize yourself with what you may be getting yourself into. So this plays along with my next tip of know your garment quantities. You don't want to go to one of these events, buy a really exclusive yarn and find out you don't have enough, but that yarn's not offered anymore. So before you go to the festival, if you do have any plans for, particular patterns that you're going to knit up, make sure you write down how much of that yarn you're going to need. If you don't have any particular patterns in mind, which is generally my case, I have an amount, a skein amount of what I need, say for a camisole, a large sweater, things like that. And I have some patterns that I'll kind of reference that are usually pretty close in terms of required yardage. So know your quantities and then just kind of think about, so a hand-dyed yarn could be anywhere from, let's say, $20 to $40 per skein. And your sweater quantity, you need 6 of those skeins, whatever the 50 grams or 100. Let's just keep it simple. But say you need 6. 6 times 30, $180. So that's just for one garment. So just keep in mind that if you are looking to buy multiple garment quantities, it does add up, and that's an amount that you have to be comfortable with to spend if that's all the yarn that you want to buy. I'm not telling you how to justify your costs or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, just so you know what the numbers are, so you don't necessarily get sticker shock. But also keeping track of the cost, because if you are crossing the border like I was, then there's only a certain amount that you can claim when you return back to your home country, before any duties will be applied. So there are different allowances that you can bring back before you get charged duty. So look that up. Depending on how long you stay, that allowance does change. And it also can help you prioritize what you're going to purchase, because if you were to, say, buy, for me as a Canadian, some American yarn, and I know it's going to cost me over $100, if I order that, when it comes back, I'm probably going to, be charged duty. But if I'm in there in person and I've stayed, more than 24 hours, then less likely to be charged duty, because I've stayed in the States long enough to have that purchase exempt from the fees. So yeah, make a list of your patterns or your plans, know your garment quantities, and do remember that if you are kind of on the cusp of whether you need, that extra skein, when in doubt, get the extra skein. But if you're just a little bit over, or just need a little bit of a next skein, do remember that most designers include overages in their required yarn amount. So you may be okay, with the 3 instead of the 4th skein. So we arrived at the marketplace on Saturday, and there was no lineup to get in, but I did kind of see on other people's Instagram reels and hear stories of just how busy and how long the lineup was. And I can imagine it because that was me last year at Flock. We got there early and we stood in the line, and yeah, it could be described as chaotic. People just want to get in there and they want to see all that yarn. I don't believe there was anything there that was like, it's only going to be here. I only have, 50 of these. I also wasn't paying too close attention to anything like that because there wasn't anything in particular on my shopping list for Flock. I actually didn't have a shopping list, hence me not buying anything the first day. But it was what we did was we got there being kind of like experienced festival goers now. We try to remain calm, and we decided to just walk through all the aisles and see who was there, see what was being offered, and just walk through all the aisles, maybe stopping at some on the way just for, brief visits. Some of them were quite busy. Some of them had even lineups to go in and see the yarn. So we would kind of pass that and go to the next thing and so forth. And that's another kind of tip or recommendation I have for you, especially if you're, say, hunting for a particular color. Say, like, I'm going there, I'm trying to find the perfect purple, then you're going to want to go through all the booths and see like who has purple and take photographs as you go through. So, have your camera, your phone handy and take all the pictures, so that later, you can take a break, review your photos and think about, okay, I really liked that purple and that pricing, keep track of all that as you go and take notes. And that way, when you kind of see what's offered, then you can kind of sit back and kind of digest all of it because it is a lot. It can be overwhelming. So definitely want to take breaks when you can. And if you are going there early in the morning, make sure you've eaten breakfast before or had something. Pack a water bottle, pack a snack. And if you are arriving with a takeout cup, coffee, tea, whatever it is, I suggest you try to finish it prior to entering the marketplace because you're going to want your hands free. You're going to want both hands so you can squish the yarn, take photos, things like that. It's going to make things easier for you because it's not all the booths have little tables, and I always feel bad about, putting my coffee on someone's display. What if it gets knocked over? So just another little tip for you guys. Is there too many tips? These are just all the kind of things I think of when I go to things like this now. So after going through the aisles, and it was near the end, so we started on the side where the merch booth was, and next to the merch booth was the winding station. There was also an area where they had kind of like panel discussions and snacks. It was also the same area like at noon. I think each day. I'm not sure on the Friday though. Andrea, the knitting PT, she would have like a little stretch break at noon. I forgot about that, so I didn't actually take part of it. But things like that were happening off to the side, and like lots of space. Like if you couldn't actually tell that it was going on while you're in the marketplace, like the aisles, the booths, because this room was just ginormous. But as we're going through near the end, there was two sheep there. There's actually a booth that had sheep, and they were so cute. I can't believe they had sheep there. They had their own little fan. Yeah, I did not learn their names. I didn't take very many photos of them, but that made me very excited that there were sheep there. I hope you guys aren't getting too little too impatient about, what I did end up buying, but I do have some more tips for you about being at the marketplace. I also wrote here, bring a whip. So if you're there early and you're waiting in line, at least you have something to do while you're chatting to your friends. Wear comfortable shoes. Now this venue was inside, very level ground, flooring, but you most likely you're going to be on your feet a lot. So wear comfortable shoes. And wear layers. Even though this was an indoor event and outside was really hot on Saturday, inside was quite chilly. The AC was blasting. I definitely was regretting not packing any sort of sweater or cardigan with me. I know, what was I thinking? But definitely needed one on Saturday, but I just kind of had to, brave the cold. And I was wearing my Claire vest on Saturday, paired with some kind of cotton linen pants, which are actually from the pajama section at the Gap, but I wear them as regular pants. Um, and it was just, there were some spots that were colder than others. Generally, I was actually okay temperature wise, but I felt bad when we went to go visit Sophia making treasures, and she was directly under a vent. And I said to her, like, you must be freezing. She's like, yes, yes, I am. So wear layers or bring layers. If it's indoor, be mindful of AC. If it's outdoor, think about whether it's going to rain. If it's sunny, sunscreen hats, things like that. If you don't like the idea of the chaos, don't go right at opening. I didn't really hear of anybody really selling out in the first like couple hours, so wait till lunchtime when most people kind of stop shopping and go find food. Go in at that time. That's the time we went in, and we found it to be not chaotic, actually. It was still a bit busy, but not opening busy. So as you're going through the aisles, I mentioned it before, but take notes, take pics of what you see, and check what's available, compare pricing, and also don't feel pressured to buy the yarn. Yes, visit all the booths, but don't feel like you're standing there feeling squishing the yarn. Don't feel pressured to have to buy at all the booths you visit. Um, all the vendors are happy just to have you see your booth and you talk to your friends about what they have. But while you're also at the booths, don't forget to look at and feel the samples there, and even try them on. Ask first. But you can even try on the samples, and you can see if that yarn is going to work out for you. So don't forget to do that. Squish out the yarn, and of course, have fun. So that's kind of all the tips I think I've written down. Maybe if it's helpful, I'll put it in a list in the description so it's kind of in a more organized fashion that way, because I've just kind of been jumping in and out of this. But I wanted to mention those things, especially for people who haven't been to these events, especially this size of an event. It can be very overwhelming if you haven't done it. So I guess it's time for what you guys have all really been waiting for, is to see what I did bring home with me. So, as I said, I didn't buy anything on Saturday. I was still, I don't know, it was a kind of like decision paralysis, maybe. I went through everything. Well, I pre-ordered my merch, so I had the bag. I had picked up my bag and the t-shirt, same design as the bag, and that's all I had with me for all of Saturday. But we went back, and well, I was reviewing my photos in the hotel room, and made a list of like, oh, I need to go back to these booths. I think I do want this yarn, such. So yeah, I'll talk about what I got, and then maybe I'll talk about the rooftop rendezvous, and then I don't know what else is there. So everything I bought fits in this cute little bag that I got from Botanical Yarn. I think it was described as the lunch bag, and she had different little prints. But I thought it was so cute. And I don't have like a little canvas tote bag this size. I apologize. I don't remember how much this one cost. Um, oh, fair, like, I think most people that follow me know I talk about money and cost things. So I'm going to say the costs of these in US dollars. I haven't sat down and done the exchange to Canadian. Um, so you will have to Google it on your own. But I will, mention the cost, because I think it is important to know if you're going to go to these festivals, like, oh, how much did that cost? So, just know, right? This is in no way of, bragging, look at how much I spent. Like, no, no, we don't do that here. So I got this bag from Botanical Yarn, and I also picked up this cute little bag. There's stuff in it because I've given this bag to Darcy. Also, can't remember how much this bag costs. But I just saw it. Did I need it? Do I need these things? No, I just thought it was super cute. It has this little handle and it's just a snap closure. And it's pretty perfect for Darcy. She loves it so much. She calls it her princess bag, which I think is pretty cute. And she's already put a bunch of jewelry in here. That's what she's decided to carry in here. And then I also have to grab out oh, so I'll explain this in a moment. But so I did get a chance to stop by Denim and Rain. So her booth, Sarah, was too busy on Saturday for me to stop by and because I wanted to say hi to her and chat with her if I could. So got to see her on Sunday. And from her, I picked up this little stitch marker. It's pretty big, but I didn't buy it to use as a stitch marker. This might be unpopular opinion, but I don't actually like using uh, these kind of stitch markers in my work. I know I bought stitch markers from Hello Lavender last year, but I don't really use them because I don't like dangly things, but please don't come at me. I bought this because I thought Darcy would really enjoy it. I just thought it was super cute and it's kind of like rainbowy colors that she's very into. And you can see that she has clipped it onto a necklace. She can open it herself and she clips it onto the necklace and she like has created her own kind of necklace out of it. Yeah, I think it's really cute. And then I also picked up a keychain. Oh, so this stitch marker was $15. And then I got this keychain, which is also $15. And I just love the colors in it. It kind of give me kind of moody ocean a little bit. But I thought this would be a really nice keychain for my future house key because I won't have a large fob anymore because we're not in an apartment building anymore. So I actually need something kind of large so I can find my key in my bag. And I saw this and I like that the metal is matte black. And yeah, so this will be my new keychain for my new key. I'm not showing these in order that I purchased. I'm just pulling them out and say, yeah, I'm gonna have to open this. So from Sarah's sister, Pennington Pottery, I bought one of her, sorry, the crinkling, her shot glasses in this kind of like dusty sage green color because I'm a sucker for that color. I'm not gonna use it to drink shots. I guess you could use it if you're making cocktails, but I have something else to actually make my cocktails. But I thought this would be a good little thing for like my Q-tips or something in the bathroom. Yes, it's going to be the fanciest Q-tip holder ever, but I like having nice little pottery pieces for my little things, even if it's, not going to be in display in my bathroom every time I open the medicine cabinet forever, I'll see it and, brings me a little bit of joy, having just something nice rather than some, cheap plastic container. So I got that. I think it was $8 for this. I can't remember. I'd have to check my receipts. All right. Yes, I did buy yarn. Oh, before I show you the yarn though. So Shayla Black Pearl Magic, I actually she came up to me on the rooftop party and saying like, "Hey, I watch your podcast." I said, "No way." I just it still astounds me when people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I watch your podcast." It's like I know like I see a subscriber number and like that number still is like but it's when you get to meet these people in real life like, wow, you watch and you listen to me. This is but I was drawn to well, Sarah. She saw this in on the table. She says, "Hey, Melissa, this is totally you." And it's a pin that says Faithful Stitch, Faithful Gauge Swatcher Club. Because I don't make projects without swatching. So there's that. And then do I have any other little things? Oh, yes. So Sophia making treasures. She has those beautiful notebooks, and she had all these new little wooden notions this year. I decided to pick up some of her clothing labels. So I bought 12. She was selling them as like one, six, or 12, and 12 of them were $15. See if I can get this open without losing all of these. They're just so cute. I need to actually remember to sew these on to my FOs, but I think I'll just have to, I'll insert some B-roll of these. But they're so cute. I'll show you this one though. I got a couple of these where it just says like, this is the back. And I got those to put specifically in Darcy's items because there are some that my husband picks up, like her Moby sweater and her Cameron pullover, and he's like, which is the front, which is the back? And he has to ask me. And they do look kind of similar. Okay, I get it. I get it. So I got those to kind of help out. And also like some fun colors as well for some more of her sweaters. So I just have to remember to actually sew them in. Will I go back and use these on FOs that are already done? Probably not. I will keep them for stuff in the future. Okay, and now for the yarn. So I will actually start with the yarn that I purchased first. The first yarn I got from Flock Fiber Festival. Ooh. So I decided to purchase from Camellia Fiber Co. This is her exclusive flock color. It is called Garden Rose, and this is the yak fingering base, which is a superwash, 80% merino, 10% silk, and 10% yak. This is a 100-gram skein, 400 meters, and I grabbed two of these, and Sarah also grabbed this fingering and the mohair as well in the Garden Rose color. And I think for both of us, it complements our skin tones very well. Sarah's a few shades darker than me, but we're both kind of darker Southeast Asians. So, but this color is just, even though it's called Garden Rose, I keep thinking like juicy, like a juicy fruit color. I feel like on my camera right now, it's slightly more saturated than it is, but still like not too far off. Just imagine it being like slightly dustier, but a very beautiful color. And this was a purchase that Sarah told me that, we should buy from her now because if we order online, we always have to pay duties. So, fair point. So very happy to get this. I'm very into kind of the luxury fibers. I bought some yak yarn from Toronto, and it's the Toronto My Yak yarn to make a thin sweater. That one was 100% yak, baby yak, and this one is just 10% yak, but it's quite soft. You get a little bit of the luster, the shine from the silk, but you have like a little bit of the fuzziness, I guess, from the yak and the merino. But it feels really nice. It's not too high of a twist, like it's not a high twist superwash. It's like a regular, I guess would be the way to describe it. And I bought this thinking I'll make some sort of sleeveless top. I don't know if it'd be like a really skinny strap camisole. But this is actually enough to make a t-shirt, not something with a lot of positive ease, but this would be enough for me to make a relaxed tee if I wanted to. Or if I make a cami, then I could probably make a cami out of one skein and then potentially gift this other one to my cousin, who is, well, we look very similar, and she also is a knitter and she likes superwash. So I always keep that in mind when I purchase. Oh, that was one of the tips I forgot to mention, was that if you are kind of deciding whether you need that third or fourth skein, if you are, traveling with a friend or purchasing for a friend, think about splitting a skein with your friend, especially if you guys live in the same city, then it's easy to just bring it all back. If you don't, maybe you take advantage of the winding station at the festival. I don't know if they have any scales so that you could actually divide out the skein, but purchase and split, go half hours with a friend if you're, in between number of skeins for sizes. So yes, that is the camellia yak fingering and this skein. These were $36 each. And the last purchase, you can see it. I'm not over this color, guys. This is like it's my color, I think. It's definitely my summer color. I don't know if I'd wear this in winter, but this is just it's just me. So this is from Ritual Dyes, the Undine is how do you pronounce that? Fingering weight base that is a 60/40 of organic cotton and linen. It's 100 gram skein. It says 382 yards. So I guess this would be a heavy fingering. What is that in meters? I don't know. I usually work in meters. Yards kind of means nothing to me. But this is the color New Growth, and these were $26 each. Same idea, bought two skeins to make some sort of cami. I'm thinking something like an Audrey top from Petite Knit, but that is made with a DK weight yarn or two strands of fingering held double. I don't want any sort of DK weight summer top, so I'd probably, if I don't find the right kind of pattern, I would draft something up myself. But this is the color New Growth and cotton linen blend. It feels like it feels kind of like hard and stiff right now, but I imagine after some washing, this will soften up with wash and wear. But yeah, this color, I just love this color. This is the color every booth that we went to, I'm like, oh, I just need to touch it. Just need to touch it, even though like I can't make everything in this color, but I feel like I'm about to. Like I need to make one every year or something like that in this color. It just makes me happy. I think it goes well with, I know, my summer skin. And yeah, so that's it for my purchases. Just these two. And I'm fine with that. It's not a cost thing for me. So yes, I am moving. For those of you that did not catch in my last podcast episode, I am moving at the end of the month. And so I've actually started packing up some things, and I always kind of had that in the back of my mind. And we've looked at our finances and we know what we can spend and things like that. So it's not like I couldn't spend the money at Flock, but I was also thinking about all the interior design kind of things that I will get to buy later or early next year for our new house. And also just thinking about less things to pack and bring to the new house. But I don't feel like I feel like, oh man, I wish I had bought that. It's really fun to go to these events as well, like not just to buy the yarn, but also just to see what the colors are like and how the fiber actually feels. There are some things that, I saw and I felt and I was like, oh, I didn't know. Maybe I wouldn't go with that. Or like, oh, maybe I will order that in the future. So that's also really good to take your own photos with your own camera and just, keep that for in the future when you're ready to make that purchase. Hopefully it's something that is available online or it's stocked somewhere close-ish to you so that you can get it. But yeah, also, that's a good takeaway as well when you go to these festivals. It's not all about, the big giant halls. It's really the most important thing, and everyone is saying this, is it's the people. I had a great time going there with Sarah. We were, it's just the two of us, our kid-free night. And then everyone is just so nice in this community and just coming up, smiling, like, hey, how are you? I my viewers, like, thank you for coming up and saying hi. It was so nice to meet those of you that did come up to me. Those of you that missed, messaged me and did not connect. Hopefully there's another event that we're able to meet in person. And so the rooftop rendezvous that was on Saturday after the marketplace, that was a really nice way that everyone's like sitting around having their drinks, knitting, chatting. Also just gorgeous on the rooftop as well. Like that was huge. And I don't actually know how many people were there. Like I think there were a lot of people there, but it wasn't crowded. It, again, like lots of space at the rooftop venue. Um, Little expensive, I will say, for the ticket. Also, given that I was so full that I couldn't even take advantage of the food, little appetizers that they had there. So, um, also being a Canadian, so I think the ticket was whatever the ticket price was, and then I have to convert that to Canadian, and our dollar is not the same as the US dollar. So that part was, but meeting all the people and chatting with everyone and seeing everyone was a lot of fun. Um, so I wanted to quickly chat about, what were people wearing? So I mentioned I was wearing my Claire vest, which was Mochi Knits design, and I knit mine with a single strand of a wool linen base from Bramble Ridge. And I paired it with some floral pajama pants for the marketplace, and then and some sandals. And for the rooftop, I changed into some black trousers and pointed flats, just a little more of a cocktail outfit, a little evening outfit. And but what I noticed the most of that I can remember is a lot of alpine blooms, many different versions of it, different sizes of it. I've never been a huge circular yoke fan, for in terms of wearing myself, but I feel like I need one. After seeing so many, I'm like, oh, I need to be part of that crew. I also saw, of course, a few, ranunculus. I also saw quite a number of mini mock neck tops as well. That was actually my alternate to wear for Sunday marketplace, but then it ended up being cooler that day, so I wore my flock t-shirt. Sarah was wearing her latest design, which is the Evelyn top, and we did see some people wear their Evelyn tops to the marketplace, which was such a great experience for Sarah as well, and being a newish designer. And I can't imagine the feeling of going somewhere and there's people who have knit your designs and you get to meet them and meet your testers. So that was really cool. And yeah, just seeing people in real life that you see on Instagram. It was like a real life Instagram feed of seeing people. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to my flock experience. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But until then, actually, I don't want to sound really sad, but this might be it for videos in this place with this backdrop. In case it is, thank you. Thank you, concrete wall. You've served me well. I might have to build a concrete wall at the new house. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.